I always get super excited every time that IKEA drops a new collection. They're always coming up with new creative designs, and sometimes they even revisit some past collections, old classics. But from time to time, there are certain collections that just hit different. And that's the case for the Stockholm 2025 collection that just launched. As soon as I saw the announcement online, I couldn't wait to see the pieces with my own eyes and touch them with my own hands at my local IKEA showroom. So let's talk about it. Now, before I talk about each one of the products, I do want to mention that this collection is a little bit on the pricier side when compared to other IKEA items. But since we're talking about IKEA, I often find that even their highest price points are quite affordable when compared to other retailers. And of course, the higher prices in this collection are justifiable since they used higher quality materials. I see a lot of solid pine, and there are even some pieces with real leather. Okay, so I was able to see some of the pieces at the showroom, so we'll start with those, and later in the video I will also mention other pieces that unfortunately weren't on display, but I do think they are worth mentioning because they look super good, at least on their website. Alright, let's start with the piece that caught my eye immediately when I saw the new collection, which is this very interesting velvet sofa. To me, it has that designer look. I am obsessed with the clean lines and the minimalist style. I fell in love with it as soon as I laid my eyes on it online. And I was actually super excited because I'm thinking about getting a new sofa soon, so this could be the one. I love the fact that it is modular, so you can pretty much build it according to your needs. It can be a love seat, it can be a 3-seater sofa, or even a single chair. This item really has the potential to be a statement piece in a living room. And I also loved the color options. There are those bright colors, such as this blue one, which is very authentic, and also the yellow one. I can also see a white option, which is more basic, and the one that I loved the most is this rich brown one. I've been loving brown stuff lately, so I was very excited to see this option here. So how does it actually look and feel in person? Well, at first glance, it looks great. I mean, it has all those factors. It is modern, it is timeless, it is a statement piece in person. And it is also quite comfortable. I mean, some people don't like when the armrests and the back of the sofa are on the same height, because it can be like a little low for you to really lean back. But for me, it worked well. Now, unfortunately, there is a nif, which is the fabric. At the IKEA website, they describe it like this. Velvet made with a traditional weaving technique gives the fabric a warm, deep color and a soft surface with a dense pile and a light, reflective sheen. But when you look at the material composition, it is 100% polyester, with a minimum of 90% of it being recycled. So I love the recycled part, but the material itself feels cheap. And this was a deal breaker for me. It isn't as soft and as natural as I was expecting. And I imagined that over time it wouldn't age very well. So although it looks absolutely stunning, and I'm sure a lot of people will fall in love with it, for me, it just doesn't work. So if you love the look, go check it out in person. Okay, the next piece I want to highlight is this bench with pad. I mean, it is listed on their website as a bench with pad, but this can be used as a daybed. It is huge. I wasn't expecting it to be so big. And it has a timeless design, like many other pieces from this collection. It is made of solid pine, so you can expect a very sturdy construction. And what actually surprised me is the composition of the actual pad. The cover is actually made of real leather. IKEA describes it as: the Seglora cover is made of aniline leather, which is the finest type of leather of the highest quality. As it ages, it becomes softer and gets a darker tone and fine patina. Fancy. As I mentioned in my previous videos, natural materials like solid wood and leather are a great option. Now, I know that real leather doesn't appeal to everyone, but as a material itself, it is great. It will age beautifully and it will develop character over time. So this is a great alternative for a larger living room, because keep in mind, this thing is big. Or maybe an office or a library. It is an amazing piece to complement any room. And because of its neutral colors, it can be used in multiple color palettes and different styles. Okay, next up is this beautiful armchair. Now, when I saw this piece online, I immediately thought, this is gonna fly off the shelves. And it appears so, because at my local IKEA, it is not available anymore. And it's also not available for delivery. So it seems to be quite popular, and I really get it. It is a beautiful piece. It was one of the pieces that I was most excited to see. And it looks as good in person as it does online. According to IKEA's website, the cover is made of Durmo, a teddy-like fabric in cotton and polyester, with a distinct texture that is soft to the touch. And that is true. Another great characteristic of this piece is that its legs are made of solid wood, oak to be precise, which is an amazing material, which brings this subtle touch of warmth to the piece, and it will also bring this touch of warmth to any room that this chair is in, even though it is a small detail such as these short legs. Now, when it comes to comfort, it's a different story. I was actually hoping to find a very soft, very comfy chair, and it is not the case at all. This chair is actually pretty hard. Just watch my reaction once I sat on it. So, although it's not uncomfortable to sit on, let's say I was expecting something different. Okay, moving on to another chair. Now, this one unfortunately was not available to sit on at the showroom, but I could see it in person. And what can I say about this one? It looks good. It's modern, it's timeless, it has neutral colors to fit in multiple styles, and it is very Scandinavian. It's very IKEA, let's say. It actually reminds me of one of their most famous chairs. Now, this one is not made of solid wood. Its frame is made of layer glued wood veneer and birch veneer, but the fabric on top, on its seat and its back, is actually made of linen. It is 100% linen, which is pretty nice. Linen is an amazing natural material that will last very long and that will also age beautifully. Now, one thing that I must say about this chair is that I was kind of hoping that it was available on more colors. As of today, there's only this neutral beige option, and I would love to see it in black, in brown, even red, or other more colorful options. Now let's take a look at some dining chair options, starting with this one. I love the design of this chair. I think it stands out. And to me, it is quite impressive that this chair is actually from IKEA. Again, following the same trends of the other items on this collection, the frame of this chair is also made of solid oak, which is an amazing material. And the fabric of its seat is also genuine leather, just like the daybed that we saw previously. So this chair will also age beautifully. And I love to see options like this coming from IKEA at a much more affordable price point. Now, of course, not everyone will agree that 250 Canadian dollars is exactly affordable, but when you compare similar options from different retailers, considering its frame is made of solid oak and the fabric is actually leather, this doesn't seem that much to me. Especially for a chair that is so unique and will definitely make any dining room stand out. When I visited the IKEA showroom, I was also able to see another dining chair option that apparently I can't find on their Canadian website, but it looks so good that I have to mention it. It seems to follow the same principles of the rest of the Stockholm line, meaning it's made of solid wood and its seat appears to be made of leather as well. But different from the previous dining chair that we just saw, this one has a more square design. And its back also has this very interesting texture with the rattan. I'm obsessed with this chair. I think it's a great option for any dining room. It is so warm, it has personality. And when you look at the details, they make all the difference. I mean, this chair looks high-end in terms of craftsmanship. It doesn't look IKEA either. So if this is available at your local store or on your local website, definitely check it out. I think it's worth it. Alright, let's move on to some storage options. First, I want to highlight this amazing cabinet with sliding doors. This piece looks amazing in person. I would love to have it in my home, but unfortunately I don't actually have a space to put it, but it's a great alternative for multiple spaces. I can see this working at an entryway or even in a dining room to store all sorts of different items. Now, similar to other items of this collection, this piece is also made mostly of solid pine, meaning its frame, its legs, it's all solid wood. And what I find interesting is that not only the doors are covered with rattan, but the top is also made of this material. So it almost doesn't feel like a solid piece. It's a very beautiful item. I love it. But if you prefer a more solid option, there is also this other cabinet that I find very interesting as well. Now for this one, although it looks very good and high quality, it appears that only the legs and some other parts are made of solid wood. The rest is particle board and veneer and your regular IKEA materials. But it does look sturdy and I can see this working in an entryway or even in an office space, because it has a key, so this is an interesting feature if you ever want to lock anything away. But I do have to mention that this cabinet doesn't have any handles or knobs, so if you don't have the key to open and close the doors, it's very hard to do it. I mean, I couldn't open the doors if the key wasn't inserted in the hole so I could pull by the key, you know what I mean? So this is a detail to keep an eye on, because it may be an issue if you ever lose the key. And here's yet another cabinet option. And this one's perfect to display all your favorite objects, dishes, anything basically. Now this cabinet is also made of solid wood. All its frame and the legs oak, to be precise, which is again an amazing material. It has this interesting warm tone to it. It has a very simple design, but I do think this one's worth the investment because of its high quality material and timeless design. Alright, let's move on to the lighting section, which is one of my favorite when you talk about IKEA. I have multiple IKEA lamps and I'm always excited to see their new launches. So let's start with the pendants. Now this pendant caught my eye immediately. I just think it looks so interesting with this wavy textile covered shade and this little detail of brass all around. It looks so good. And actually, the materials used in this shade are also very interesting. It is 70% polyester and 30% linen, which adds this very interesting but subtle texture to the shade. I just love it. It creates this warm, diffuse glow that looks great above a dining table or even in other parts of the house as well. It creates like this inviting mood. But besides this pendant, there's also this other one that leans more into the glass and brass. Now, personally, this isn't my style. I do think it looks good, but I just wouldn't choose something like this for my home. It actually reminds me of a chandelier that we used to have in our home when I was a child, like in the early 2000s. And as you can see, the whole thing is actually made of little glass tubes, which don't seem like a great material or shape to clean. So I can see dust gathering inside the tubes and stuff like that. So yeah, something to keep in mind. But I can definitely see this working in a more classy interior or even as a contrasting piece in a modern room. And it also comes in two sizes, a 15-inch one and a 21-inch one. Now there are some interesting table lamps in this collection as well, starting with this one here. I think this lamp looks great. I think it's timeless and I think it's simple and chic at the same time. Pretty much everything that I said about all the other pieces in this collection. And I think it does stand out because of its base, which is made of travertine, very chic. Now keep in mind that this lamp is quite big, so it has 65 centimeters of diameter or 26 inches. So yeah, it's big. It's not something like you could use as a bedside lamp, for instance. It would be too big for that, in my opinion. And they also launched a floor lamp of the exact same style of this one, so this is another great option. Now moving on to another table lamp, this one is very interesting. When I saw it online, I thought it would be way smaller than it actually is. I think it's also quite big, and it comes in two color options. One is this plain yellow one, which I think looks amazing, especially when lit. It creates like this diffused yellow glow, which is very interesting. And there's also this other option here with this more creative pattern, which is not exactly my style. I would prefer the yellow one. But they both look very interesting. And what's also great about this piece is the materials they use here. These lamps are covered in a fabric made of 100% linen, which again is a very nice material, and when lit it creates like this interesting texture. I love it. Okay, another category that I wanted to highlight here is the rugs, and particularly two rugs that caught my attention when I was walking around the IKEA showroom. One of my favorites is this one. I just love the combination of this warm orange and the light blue, the beige base. I just think this combination is so modern and so creative. I can see this rug as being like the statement piece in a room. You could use this rug in a neutral room and it will immediately stand out and make the whole space look more creative and more intentional. And it also comes in two sizes, which is great. And there's also this other one, this green one, this birch tree pattern. And this rug is reversible, meaning it has the same pattern on both sides. So you could turn it over and it will withstand more wear and tear and it will last even longer. Now, both of these rugs are hand woven and they are 100% wool, which connects to the theme, to the overall theme of this whole collection, which is related to craftsmanship and high quality materials. I just love to see this being an option at IKEA with more affordable prices than you would find elsewhere. I mean, we're talking about a $500 rug, but you get what you pay for in terms of quality and durability. Now, I also wanted to quickly mention some of their decor pieces, and more specifically the vases, because there are some very beautiful pieces here. My favorite is this bowl, this dark blue turquoise bowl. When I saw it online, I thought it would be smaller, but this is actually quite big. It is the perfect accent piece for a coffee table or a sideboard or something like that, and it brings this nice pop of color that is somehow unexpected, along with its organic shape. I just love this piece. I'm seriously thinking about getting one for myself. But besides this bowl, there are also other vases in this collection, and this brown one is another one of my favorites. I like how it's not perfectly smooth. It's like interesting because of its imperfection, of its non-precise shape. And what I find interesting is that these vases, these bowls, they are all mouth blown. So again, very nice to see this attention to craftsmanship at IKEA. Now, before I wrap things up, I do want to mention another couple of items that unfortunately were not available, but I do think that they are worthy of some attention based on what I've seen online. The first one being this sofa here. I mean, honestly, it looks high-end to me. I just love the wooden base and the wooden legs. It makes the sofa much more airy because it's elevated from the ground. But it's not like your regular generic leg from IKEA. It's actually solid wood, which makes this piece much more interesting. I also love the simplicity of it and how neutral it is and how calm it is somehow. I would love to see it in more colors, but right now they only offer it in this beige fabric option. And what is also great about the sofa is the upholstery fabric, which is made of a blend of cotton and linen, again, natural materials that elevates the value of this piece, along with the wooden legs and wooden base. Now, another piece that I would love to have seen at the showroom is this round coffee table here. Usually I'm not a fan of glass coffee tables because glass is like a magnet for finger marks and stuff like that, but this coffee table looks so good to me. It looks like a designer piece, actually. It doesn't look like it came from IKEA. So I'm not sure how it looks in person because this is not solid wood, it is oak veneer, but online it does look amazing. So I hope to see it in a future visit at IKEA. And to finish it off, I would also love to have seen this other coffee table here. It actually looks like a bench, but it's listed as a coffee table. I think it's super simple, but at the same time, it is timeless and it can be used in a multitude of different design styles. So it's a very versatile piece, and similar to other pieces in this collection, this is made of solid pine. So this will age beautifully. So if you happen to see any of these items that I mentioned at your local IKEA store, do let me know in the comments if they look as good in person as they do online. What did you think about this new Stockholm 2025 collection at IKEA? Do you think it's worth the hype? Let me know in the comments. To me personally, some pieces are worth the hype, but others look better online than in person. But overall, I love to see this attention to detail, craftsmanship, and high quality materials coming from IKEA. And although most of these pieces are on the expensive side when compared to other collections from IKEA, I do think that these high quality materials and overall attention to detail are worth the price, because you will have these pieces for much longer and they will age much better than your average IKEA piece. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel to see more home decor related content. As always, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.